Win today by the Defenders. They are in the postseason as the defending champions from a year ago. Had a chance to clinch a postseason berth last week at home against Louisville. Couldn't do it. And for the Kings at 3-4, a chance to get back to 500, win 4 out of 5, and really position themselves down the stretch. Join DC in the postseason potentially. Tanner Brown sends it long into the landing zone. And Valladay from inside his own 5. With a cut, a crease, some contact, and Valladay against the grain into plus territory. And a return of 54 yards as we check in with Cole Kublik.
We're walking out the defense right now. These D tackles for Louisville have been the kings of this defense all year. Travis Bell, Josiah Brunson. What do you have to do today to be successful?
Man, we just got to dominate the trenches, man. Stay together, execute the game plan. That's all we got to do.
Josiah, why has this group been so good this year?
I'm just glad to be with a whole bunch of dogs, man. We got the standard that we set, man.
Here we go.
I just love the fact we're walking out defensive tackles before they get set for their first snap instead of quarterbacks. A little B&B, Brunson and Bell anchoring that Louisville defense. Deion Jackson in the backfield flanking Jordan Ta'amu. MVP of the championship game last year. Play action off the back shoulder. Ty Scott's got it. Ty Scott rides it all the way into the end zone. Didn't take long after the long kick return. 41-yard pitch and catch. DC strikes first.
How about that? I mean, the ball's been in play twice, and already DC finds the end zone with the big kickoff return, and then they just take advantage of a blitzing corner off the edge. Safety's not able to get over there, and Jordan Ta'amu says, welcome to the game.
Now Ty Scott staying in bounds, keeping his balance, little tippy toe, and cross the goal line. First play from scrimmage. McCrane's extra.
He wanted to keep his eyes in the backfield. Off the sideline, me and Ta'amu talked about it all week.
You mentioned eyes in the backfield, so tell me what you guys were reading on that play.
Well, we're really reading the corner to see if he's going to jump in the nickel. First off, because you know if we're going to make a pull read, so it's RPO. So you just got to get a feel for it. Like I said, his eyes caught, he triggered, JT seeing it. I seen it even better.
Show me the Spidey celebration. There you go, fellas.
No.
Spidey sense was tingling, said Ty Scott. Led to a touchdown. He now is in a tie for first place in the UFL touchdown grabs this year. Number 19 out of Missouri State, third year with the Defenders. 18 seconds in after a 36-minute delay due to lightning here in the Louisville area. And the Defenders with the lead. Here comes Tyler Hudson. Ensuing kickoff. Hudson with real estate. Hudson on the move. And it didn't take long for the full response. Touchdown Kings. .92 yards. Hudson, guess where he played his college ball? Right here in Derby City.
Well, there's a crucial double team that's going to happen right here, and you can see it just pushes the kickoff team out of the way and creates a massive hole. And then it's just speed and a little help from your friends down the field, and you get Tyler Hudson to the house. Roy, at this pace, we're going to score 2 touchdowns every 3 plays. We're going to hit the over by halftime.
Took 18 seconds for the first score, 13 for the second. And the extra point up and good. Tied at 7 as we try to collect our breath here for a moment.
He's got a ball I like.
HD, what do you got?
I'm here with Tyler Hudson, who played football at Louisville. Shout out to Tom Jackson. 92 yards, you answer after they scored a touchdown on their first drive. How do you feel right now?
I'm ecstatic. I'm trying to do it again. I ain't gonna lie. I'm adrenaline rushing right now. I'm trying to do it again. Ooh, come on, I want to kick off. I gotta go.
All right, go ahead.
He's in a hurry.
My adrenaline would be rushing too. I mean, this is a Louisville team that has won 3 of their last 4, but still has yet to have their first home win. So can you imagine Tyler Hudson, a guy who played at Louisville, and we were just talking pregame, people who went to Louisville, are from Louisville, like our guy Harry Douglas who played here, man, they love this place, and this place loves them back. So Tyler Hudson floating on cloud 9 right now.
Hey, tip of the cap too, also on cloud 9, our Cole Kublik taking the first half under.
Hey, he's still in play. It's still in play right now.
I act like it's already hit. Calm down.
You got to slow down a little bit on the scoring.
31 seconds in, and we got 14 on the board, boys. Ensuing kickoff, Ezukama. Inside the 10. And stop shot. 30 after a return of 24. Take us back to that first touchdown of Ty Scott.
All right, so before all the excitement happened, you were told they're reading these two guys, the corner and the nickel, and that corner just sinks in. Safety's not able to get over the top quite enough, and Ty Scott's just up the sideline. He does a nice job of expanding away from the safety, and Jordan Ta'amu sees what's going on with the corner and the nickel, decides to pull it on the RPO, sees the safety not getting over there, delivers it to Ty Scott, and it ends up in a touchdown as Scott makes a guy miss. They're going to have to clean that up on those RPOs. You see a lot of them in here today with DC.
Less than a minute in already, 2 touchdowns. Ta'amu pulls it, and the zone read bolts ahead for a gain of 2.
And Jordan Ta'amu tends to do what we just saw a decent amount. The zone read and the late slides up the middle, I would much rather him either take the hit on or go head first to protect himself a little bit more.
Kai Gardner banked up. That secondary for the Kings.
Here's the slide. When you're going right up the middle, you don't necessarily have the space for those defenders to pull off. Kai Gardner ends up getting the worst end of that. But I don't like it when quarterbacks are kind of going right into the gut of the defense and then decide to slide. There's just way too many variables.
Get in tight, get in tight, get in
and
tight.
not enough space to signal that you're going to slide for the defenders to pull off.
Hey, Birmingham,
Gardner
Birmingham.
came out of LSU as a cornerback, now playing safety, has been learning that position. For a Louisville roster that has turned over in a number of different ways the last couple of weeks. Got that wet turf to think about. And a bit awkward there. Officially a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. And here come our first penalty flags. So after our first
19.
tackle, our first penalty.
False start. 19 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Ty Scott scores a touchdown, and then with a false start.
Spread left, 72 slants, 72 slants. Spread right, spread right, 71 slants, 71 slants.
71. Alabama,
Fred
Alabama.
Kais told us this week it was his fault. Turnovers in the second half between these two teams last week in D.C., particularly with one of the throws made by Jordan Ta'amu. There's 4 miscues in all in that second half. Across the middle, there's the slant. Ezukama still on his feet. Will drag a defender to the 48. And another big play. Quindell Johnson went on a ride for a gain of 21.
Well, you heard 71 slants. You're just going to get slants across the board. Jordan Ta'amu is able to deliver accurately. A little bit of pressure, gets man-to-man coverage on the back end, and Ezukama makes a nice play.
Love him throwing right into the pressure there.
Deion Jackson has 5 rushing touchdowns this year to midfield. Thomas brought him down. Jamie Sharper calling plays on defense for the Kings.
Got Big Cat Smoke. What? Cat Smoke. There we go. Check it for money now. Check that. Check what?
Take your time. Let me
Money. It's good. Money. Yeah.
Ready? To go.
On 2nd down, back to Jackson. Churns the legs, plus territory. Brunson brought him down. It's a gain of 4.
This offensive line for DC struggled last week with the interior. Those 2 defensive tackles that Cole interviewed as they ran onto the field. They struggled with that, so a little bit of shuffling on the offensive line. They made a change at right guard, and they're hoping that shores things up with those 2 excellent really stout, explosive defensive tackles for Louisville on the other side.
Crossing midfield, DC can't punt it. We'll see if that means something for Matt McCrane in a moment. Tabo's going to throw an interception. He telegraphed it right to Corey Mayfield Jr. And a late penalty flag flies in. The 4th pick of the year for Mayfield. He leads the UFL.
Where's the spot? End of the run.
I'll give you the spot. You work through the foul.
19.
Horse collar tackle. We're going to tack it on number 19.
Your out of bounds spot is the 29.
Going half the distance from the 29, number 19. During the return, personal foul, horse collar tackle, number 19 of the passing team. The penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal, first down.
Well, Ty Scott has lived about 5 different lives to start today. It's a return of 32 plus 15 more on the penalty.
Well, Ty Scott's going to run a little curl and out, and watch what Corey Mayfield does as soon as Ty Scott breaks out. He knows that he's not going to get up to the sideline, so he just breaks underneath it, is able to pick it and almost take it to the house.
James Robinson squirts ahead to the 10. We'll rule him down just shy there. Derek Roberson brought him to the turf.
So, Roddy, you seen on that replay the wide receiver Ty Scott drifting up the field as he comes out of that whip route. You want to stay friendly towards the quarterback and not allow that DB to undercut you. So, wasn't a good route by Ty Scott.
So, Harry, do you think Corey Mayfield knew the route? Because he was 5 yards underneath that thing. Do you think it was something he saw on film?
I haven't seen that on film for DC in a while. So I don't think it's something that he was ready for. I think Corey Mayfield Jr. is an instinctive player. And when you sense things, that's his 5th turnover in the last 4 games. So he's just one of those players that play with instincts, and that's what coaches want. Everything is not going to be like you draw it up in the meeting room. He utilized his instincts, got an interception. Now Louisville's in the right territory.
First sack of the year for Curtis Jacobs. It's a loss of 9.
Yeah, that one's on Chandler Rogers, too. At some point, you just got to throw that ball away. Should have done it immediately over the head of the flat.
And now it's 3rd and 17.
Leave it. Here we go.
Rogers, pocket was there, the throw was not. And a fingertip perhaps on the line of scrimmage. We'll rule that incomplete.
Yeah, Derek Roberson gets his hand on that one. Working against the right tackle. Here's Roberson. He's just going to go around the right tackle and eventually get his hand on the ball as Chandler Rogers tries to throw it. It's a nice individual effort by Derek Roberson and a nice effort by this DC defense after the turnover to force a field goal.
Rogers is just happy that wasn't the kind of collision that we saw a week ago between those two. 39-yard field goal attempt coming from Tanner Brown. Brown 18 of 21. Plays kicking department this year. Make it 19 of 22. And the Kings grab their first lead. Our first 2 touchdowns today, well, they are wired. Have a listen.
That's how we set the tone. Let's go.
Oh, you love the access. You love to listen in. And the emotions of this game, sensational to start. The highs and lows for both sides, and a 10-7 advantage for the home team after 2 touchdowns were scored in just about 30 seconds today.
Explosive is how I would describe the start. You could say this game has come out like a bolt of lightning, which is why we were 30 minutes delayed.
And the thunder that ensued on the field afterwards. Lightning comes before the thunder, right?
Yes, always.
Thank you.
I think that's a physics thing or something.
Checks out. Tanner Brown. High wobbler. Fielded at the 10 by Ezukama. And he'll be spun down crossing the 25, and that's it. Penalty flag flies in. Don't forget, coming up next on AB's get that infraction.
This is kind of a silly penalty by Javon Antonio. He's going back towards the ball, and it happens kind of when Eric Ezukama is about to run by. I mean, it's an unnecessary block, and it costs his team penalty yardage as well.
Abram Smith on the field for DC at running back. He'll get a touch. The outside edge. And he's going to lose a yard. Now the Kings ready and waiting. Steel Chambers. Now infractions have been an issue for DC. You go back to last week in that 17-point setback for Shannon Harris's team. 9 penalties, 81 yards. Real difference maker in addition to the 5 turnovers. Harris told us this week, we beat ourselves. That was the theme in practice. Tamu driven down and sacked. All the way back at the 7-yard line. A committee approached him, led by Jalen Allen.
We're going to get 2 blitzers off the edge, and then both these linebackers come as well. And you just overload that one side. You get the guard and the tackle combining on the defensive end. Linebacker comes free. And this Louisville defense now has this DC offense in the shadow of its own end zone with a 3rd and long.
Slid that protection the wrong way there, Roddy.
3rd and 16. Tamu from his own end zone fires a pass. It's tipped and intercepted. Mekhi Gardner back on the field. Tumbles out of bounds at the 5. Cornell Powell, who had a fumble last weekend, should have caught it for a 1st down. Instead, it's a pick, and Louisville back in business.
Well, it's a really nice design. This inside receiver is going to run a clear out, and then there's a dig right behind in cover 2. So there's a little bit of a hole there that Jordan Ta'amu finds. It's actually a really nice throw, and then just through the hands of the receiver, maybe a little behind him. And Louisville is cooking once again after a turnover. Jordan Ta'amu now 4 interceptions in the last 3 quarters for the DC quarterback.
Kings with a +7 turnover ratio this year. That's been a difference maker. Robinson straight ahead. Try to push the pile, and it was Wheeler that checked in. And Wheeler stopped at the 3. 2nd and goal from there. This game has had more big plays than we've seen.
What a start. I mean, the delay, and then we came out. DC strikes quickly on the first play, and now Ta'amu is throwing his 2nd interception of the day. Came in tied for the UFL lead with 7 interceptions. Those 2 put him at 9, most in the UFL.
I wonder what that does to him and his confidence. Black was wide open. They'll stop this play before it starts.
Snap infraction. 63 of the offense. 5-yard penalty still. 2nd down.
All the big plays, it's been sloppy at times.
Yes, it has. That actually would have been on 76.
Cole can relate to that.
Empty. You got to own it. Wide jerk. Tough for a guard to have a snap infraction.
Yes, it is. Very tough.
Wheeler remains on the field at running back. 2nd and goal. They'll shove it back to the 8. And they'll empty it out for Chandler Rogers. And Rogers is going to be gobbled up by Brandon Smith. Shot out of a cannon, and the sack for number 40.
Well, Chandler Rogers has got to know that there's nobody. You get one-on-one blocks all the way across, and there's nobody for the linebacker, so you're not going to have time to get to your 2nd read. Like, well, it's got to be out. You don't have time to come back to the number 2 receiver that you're looking for. Here's what it sounded like.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
3rd and goal from the 16. Rogers with time underneath. Winstead grabs it. Well shy of the goal line. It'll be 4th and goal from the 10. Here comes the field goal unit.
Tell you what, if Louisville doesn't end up winning this game, they're going to look at those 2 interceptions and ending up with 2 field goal attempts after them. as two crucial moments for this offense, and they've gone backwards on both of those after both of those interceptions.
Yeah, you got the spots this DC defense has been in too. I mean, they throw you inside your own red zone multiple times. If you're able to come away with this, just giving up 2 field goals, that's massive.
Eric Roberson needed a moment. Appears to be okay. Will jog off the playing surface under his own power. Rodgers has the headset on, trying to figure out what's gone wrong. And for the Kings, still -7 total yards, but a chance to go up 6. Mr. Automatic Tanner Brown. And a 28-yarder from the right hash all the way. 13-7. 13-7 advantage for the Kings. Getting ready to send their 4th kickoff of this contest. Tanner Brown back on the field. Kings with 13 points and 0 first downs. Make it make sense. Valladay from the 12. Valladay, another big return crossing the 45. Cole Kublik with the head coach of DC, Shannon Harris.
Coach Harris, how has your message changed based on just how crazy first couple of minutes this game has been?
No, the message hasn't changed. It still remains the same, right? We got to come out here. We know we're coming into a hostile environment. We got to stay in attack mode offensively. Can't have back-to-back turnovers right there. That's not the brand of football that we want to play. Our defense has done a great job of keeping these guys out the end zone after these 2 devastating turnovers. But we still feel good about it. We only down 6 points, and we right where we want to be.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Said this week in practice, 2 of his better sessions all year, coming off the 30-13 loss last week against Louisville in DC. It's a fast start with a touchdown strike to Ty Scott. Since then, it's been different. Batted down, could have been picked off, and there's another flag. Makai Gardner.
Ineligible downfield, number 79.
Do they want it? 79 downfield.
Ineligible downfield. Do you want to accept that? Have 1st and 15 or 2nd and 10? Accept it. Accept it.
Ineligible lineman downfield, number 79 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
What happens there when that goes down like that for Doss?
Well, I mean, the penalty happens in there, but the thing that they're looking at is watch the safety fly up, and this is a touchdown if you don't have the ineligible downfield. Sometimes those linemen that are on those double teams, it's an RPO, so sometimes you just get caught a little too far. But the DC coaches mentioned to us that these Louisville safeties were really aggressive a week ago and got away with it, so they're trying to punish them there.
Tamu pulls it away, leapfrogs 1 defender into plus territory. And on 1st and 15, a quality game. Johnson tripped him up after he picked up 10.
And Rodney, I think 2 things as far as the decision making for this DC offense today. You mentioned it, 1, reading those safeties. They were egregious with how fast they played downhill. Had to take advantage of it a week ago, and then playing the edges right there as well. We saw a backside defender on a run to the left earlier make the play behind the line of scrimmage. That time Jordan Ta'amu reading it correctly and able to make that defense pay.
And Cole, speaking of Jordan Ta'amu, he fell down to the turf walking towards the defender's sideline as you were giving us that report and requiring assistance after he just got crunched for the 2nd time today.
And it's after that, after sort of the hurdle is when he starts to kind of favor that leg, and then he takes the shot on the hip.
Yeah, you can see the knee buckle a little bit.
Yeah, after that hurdle, he kind of hits the ground hard, and it seems to be the leg that they were looking at. You wonder which of those was the one that caused whatever has bothered him. But Spencer Sanders comes in, a guy who has been featured in this offense in a number of different ways. They've put him at receiver. He is an absolute playmaker on the field. His experience over the course of his career, obviously, most famously at Oklahoma State, but was at Ole Miss for a little bit as well. This is a guy who had plenty of college experience and is a big-time playmaker with his legs.
Tamu's in the 10. Sanders on the field out of the gun on 2nd and 5. Here comes the pressure. Sanders cannot escape. Will be sacked back in his own end of the field by Cam Gill.
Well, he's a guy that Coach Kais told us you love having him in the locker room as well. Just brings that veteran presence. And now this is going to be a pressure that he didn't see, didn't notice, wasn't able to get picked up. But Lane Kiffin, going back a couple of years ago when he was on that Ole Miss football team, shared with us the same thing. Said he still comes in here and treats every day like a starter. He's been invaluable for some of our other quarterbacks in that entire quarterback room. So somebody, no matter where he falls on that depth chart, fellas, multiple head coaches and coordinators have told us, handles it in a way that you would love to see because it helps the entire team.
3rd down and 11. Sanders underneath. Scott on the move. Penalty flag flies. It's enough for the first down.
Flag down.
Let's check the infraction.
OPI number 13.
Pass interference. Number 13 of the offense. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
5th penalty, and these things starting to stack up in a real negative way.
Yeah, Eric Ezukanma's right here. And you can see all these receivers, none of them are really looking for the route, or none of them are looking for the ball, because the route is just an underneath little drag route that's set up to be thrown quick and then get blocks out front. Unfortunately, the timing's just a little bit off with Ezukanma starting to block before the ball gets there. And this is notable, Roy, because the ball was snapped on that second 50. Once you cross the 50, you cannot punt the ball. So no matter what, DC is going to have to go for it on 4th down, as they can't punt now.
Massive indeed. 3rd and 21. Let's do it again. Sanders, quarterback draw. A little shake and bake to the 44. That's it. After you cross midfield, you can't punt. So that means on 4th and long, DC will have to go for it.
And the offense is a little confused about it. They started to trot off the field, and then we're having to be told, no, you got to go back on. We cannot punt.
Mike DeLillo, the backup quarterback for Louisville, traded from DC at the end of April, and perhaps keys to the kingdom have been unveiled to assist Louisville in its prep against DC these last 2 weeks. And all that confusion results in a timeout called by DC.
Yeah, you can still show spread. Let's go spread right, yak, and then go lion. Yeah. So we'll go spread right, yak, lion, okay? But just yakking across, yeah. All the way across, yeah. Yeah. Yep. Spread right, yak, lion, okay? Lion.
Calm, cool, and collected Shannon Harris on 4th and long for his backup quarterback, no less, than Spencer Sanders.
It sounds to me like they're going to try and sneak a little run here. Conservative call. If that indeed is the call, we'll see what they decide to go with.
Sanders, the backup to Jackson Dart at Ole Miss. In first team all Big 12 at Oklahoma State. Little movement on the left side. Back him up 5 more. Jalen Duncan at left tackle.
Hey! That's the same thing they did. That's the same thing they did. That's the same thing that left tackle doing. You gotta call it too. That's the exact same thing.
They haven't had any plays on offense.
They did have plays on offense.
How many? 5?
It don't matter. I don't care if it was 2. He did it.
Okay.
Every time.
Chris is gonna get that.
Oh, tell Chris to get it.
4th and 19.
But Shannon Harris working the officials there.
This Louisville crowd making it difficult for DC in their offense.
Great environment here in Derby City. Sanders wanted to heave one deep. Couldn't do it. And flings it out of bounds under duress. Louisville will take over with outstanding field position. Xavier Carlton was all in his grill. Spring football's built differently. You see that on full display. Unable to punt, crossing midfield. You get sacked a couple of times, and now Louisville takes advantage.
Yeah, the penalties creeping up for DC on that drive.
Let's go. Rip for Pittsburgh. Let's go.
Roddy, you want to take a shot here?
I don't think you have to be honest with you. I mean, this Louisville offense hasn't really found any rhythm so far in this game.
Without a first down and -7 yards of offense. Thinking along those lines, James Robinson is going to gain a yard on first. Explain that.
Kickoff return for touchdown.
Thank you.
2 interceptions that